What does the ending of Godzilla Kong The New Empire say about the relationship between these two titular titans of the Monsterverse? Are they buddies now, or are they still at odds with each other? Here in this short video we will dive into their love-hate relationship and discuss it in brief, highlighting their history with each other and the development of their current ties. Let's get to it. So firstly, let's sum up the history between Godzilla and the great apes as was stated in the movie. In Godzilla Kong The New Empire, it was said that in the ancient past, the Titans were the guardians of nature and the great apes became the protectors of humanity. This all changed with Scar King rallying the apes to fight and rule over everything with an iron fist. This of course pitched them against Godzilla, the one who ate a star, who promptly defeated them and imprisoned them in a volcanic region in the Hollow Earth. Why is this information important to the relationship between Kong and Godzilla, you might ask? Well, this changes the entire dynamics of the Titans and the great apes. Suddenly, Godzilla had to take it upon himself to be both a guardian of the natural order and also somewhat becoming a protector of humanity as well. This Titan war made Godzilla hate the great apes, and this was further aggravated by the ancient Kong rival that actually defeated Godzilla and took his lair, as was seen in the Dominion comics. Anyway, that's the ancient past. So coming to the modern day timeline, Kong, who was born in the more recent time period, had no link to the ancient conflicts, and by the time of KOTM, he had grown into his own and became the ruler of Skull Island. He was a different ape. He was more sympathetic to humans and was truly one that bore the mantle of protector. At the same time, however, Godzilla had just vanquished Ghidorah in Boston with the help of Mothra, his symbiotic ally. Later, Apex was shown in GVK to be creating Mecha-G from the remnants of Ghidorah, and their work was sending bioacoustic signals all over the place, sending the Big G into a hunting frenzy. At the same time, Kong was transported from Skull Island, which had become uninhabitable due to a permanent storm there, and he was taken to Antarctica. But midway, the fleet was intercepted by Godzilla, which of course took this as a threat to his territory, and culminated in the first ever meeting and confrontation between Kong and the Big G. This ended with Kong and Godzilla fighting, and then Godzilla sparing the great ape, but at the same time this ingrained a resentment in Kong for the surprise attack. As we all know, in GVK, Godzilla was actually searching for signals and disturbances, which he felt was the re-emergence of Monster Zero. This drove him into a heightened state of alert and combat readiness. He eventually tracked the main signal to Hong Kong and was fully underway to put a final end and stop to what he thinks is his old arch-nemesis coming back to life. Unfortunately, at the same time, when he arrived there in Hong Kong, Kong unknowingly activated the throne room inside the Hollow Earth, which messed with Godzilla's hunt and enraged him, making him think that his old nemesis, the Scar King, was back at it. This led him to bore a hole to the Hollow Earth to send a message to anyone there to stop what they were doing. This made a hole and they rode at each other, and when Godzilla saw this was Kong, he just walked away. This of course led to the Hong Kong battle where Kong came out of the Hollow Earth and challenged Godzilla, which became really just a major distraction from the main upcoming conflict. This fight with Kong also weakened Godzilla, who by the time Mechagodzilla was activated, he had become too exhausted to actually put up a good fight. But thankfully, with the help of Kong, the mechanized titan was defeated, so both of them in the end had an uneasy truce, with Kong asked to drop the axe as a sign of peace and Godzilla swimming back into the sea to recuperate. This was unsaid but understood, that the surface world was Godzilla's realm and Kong can do whatever he wanted to in the Hollow Earth. Just don't come back up or it will be treated as a challenge. Titan communication isn't really vocalized language, it's more of instincts and subtle signals. Thus Kong was sent back to the Hollow Earth with an uneasy truce with a Big G, and they were not friends yet, but it's safe to say that they both had a begrudging respect for each other. Kong finally understood Godzilla's nature, and Godzilla too understood that Kong wasn't like the Scar King. Now we come to the New Empire. Here Kong finally met others of his kind and unfortunately came into battle with the Scar King and Shimu. At the same time, in the surface world, Godzilla was sensing the signals from the Hollow Earth, and this drove him into evolving into the next stage to prepare for an inevitable battle against an ancient enemy who has now control over an ancient frost titan, Shimu. Godzilla, now more powerful than he ever was, and combat ready again as he was in GVK, was expecting something out of the ordinary to come out from beneath the world. Funny, it was again Kong that came out in Egypt, who roared and sent a clear signal to Godzilla to come to where the ape was. Unfortunately, Titan language is just what I said a while back, non-vocal, and is highly inferred by instincts and signals. Godzilla instead took this as both a challenge for another fight, and in his mind he was like, maybe Kong had found the great apes and had become a follower of Scar King, his old enemy, so this monkey had to be taken out for good. This led to a short battle where Kong tried to drag Godzilla down to the vortex, a funny scene, but nearly ended in Godzilla burning Kong to a crisp. He was about to. Like a miracle from down below, at the most crucial moment, Mothra shows up and sends Godzilla falling backwards with her powerful god rays. If it were any other Titan then, that magenta atomic breath would be redirected to them, and that would be magnificent. But this is the Queen of the Monsters and Godzilla's Bay. So the Big G was astounded by the presence of his symbiotic ally. So was Kong, I presume. Mothra had a way to communicate with both Godzilla and humans, which sort of extends towards great apes as well. And so here in Giza, Egypt, a pact was forged where the tree would stop the upcoming colossal danger that threatens to take down both the surface and the Hollow Earth realms. Due to Mothra, Godzilla was seen to have a sudden change of attitude towards Kong, where he immediately takes up Kong as a necessary ally, maybe treating him as important to him as much as Mothra was. They then displayed good teamwork, at one point of time him allowing Kong to ride on top of his back. Now that's what I call trust. So this teamwork ended in the defeat of a common enemy, the restoration of the natural order of things, Mothra reawakening and both of them going back to their own respective territories. At the end of the battle at Rio, we could see Kong give a heads up to Godzilla with kind of a smile, while at the same time holding his battle axe over his shoulder. This was a stark contrast to the ending of GVK, where he had to put down the axe in order to make a truce. So this was followed by Godzilla shooting his heat ray into the sky, instead of just swimming away like in GVK. So I would say that after this, a strong trust would have been formed between the two, and they definitely would be able to count on each other for future world-ending fights. But for other smaller battles in their own dominions, that's up for either one to take care of. Also, I wouldn't say that they would hang out and have a get-together. They would, as we saw in the end of the movie, go back to their own respective dominions and be at peace. And yeah, if either one of them were to transgress to each other's realms, this might still be treated with a minor suspicion, unless it's a call for arms thing. So that's what I think. Now if you like this video, then watch this other one as well, and do check out our channel for other Monsterverse content. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.